Gentlemen, we got something to talk about today. And I understand it's dark. I understand this ain't the most aesthetically pleasing setup I've ever created a video in. But the reason, typically I'll wait till I get good lighting or I'll wait till the daytime or whatever. But today I cannot wait. Today this is something that is on my heart, that is life-changing. And the point of this video is to change your entire life and your entire perspective on a key aspect to improving your life in general, but also probably the most key aspect to changing your life inside of the gym especially, but also outside of the gym too, mentally, in your mind. And today's video is gonna be about motivation. And motivation is something you hear a lot about it already. Everybody talks about motivation. You know, you should use discipline over motivation, or motivation's actually good for you. And I know you guys can barely fucking see me, but just pay attention, because this, if you can withstand this and you can overlook and understand that the only reason I'm putting this out is because it is advice that needs to be put off my heart right now, you will go further. And here's what I have to say about motivation, is that it's killing the goals of actual strong, masculine, not soft, pussy men. It's killing the real men's goals and ambitions. And here's why. And I've never heard it stated like this anywhere on the internet. I've never heard anybody actually take the stance that motivation is negative. You know, like I said, you hear that you shouldn't rely on it. You hear this and that, but it's actually killing you. And let me tell you guys why. And make sure you take notes or find some sort of way that works for you where you can actually implement this information instead of just mentally masturbate to it. Motivation is almost like a drug. Now, what do I mean by that? Anytime you have the idea or the belief or the realization or the download that you want to do something new in life, you want to take your life to the next level, right? Anytime that spawns into your life, for lack of a better term, you know, you want to start lifting, right, for whatever reason, based on some sort of, you know, pain or some sort of something that's wrong with your life, or you know, you want to start a business like what I'm doing with my coaching, that, you know, a lot of you guys, you know, I've been getting a lot of consistent viewers. A lot of you guys know about that. That's not the point of this video. Motivation is something that can easily fuel the start of something like that. It can easily fuel or kickstart the new era or the new actions. And you can feel motivation, right? You can feel motivation and start taking action. You know, you can feel this euphoric feeling that your entire life needs to change, and you have all these ideas and downloads, and it's easier to hit the gym, and you have good workouts while you're motivated. Like, we've all had those fucking nights where we've been up at 3 a.m. doing fucking push-ups because all of a sudden we felt like we're behind and we gotta fucking make a difference. That's motivation. And that's what motivation is good for. But like I said, motivation is like a drug. And when you get used to operating on motivation, you reframe your mind into looking at the goal instead of looking at the process. Because motivation is goal-centric. Write that down or internalize that deeply. Motivation is goal-centric. Discipline, and I'm not this big fucking discipline is the only way you got to do things. No. You guys know how I feel about discipline, but discipline is process centric. The key difference there being motivation fuels you and wants to push you towards the output, but discipline pushes you towards the input. Now, why would motivation be bad though? And I'm going to explain that right now. Motivation is horrible for you because it is addictive. Let me take you guys into my life today. Today, I worked my regular job today. Today's Sunday. I typically take rest. I always take rest from the gym on Sunday. I believe in one rest day a week, and I always make it Sunday. I try to work church or God in as much as I possibly can, and read my Bible, and then I'll work at my serving job. Because a lot of people like to get food after church, and I think it's a good thing for me to do. I can help give those guys an even better experience after church and continue their day, and I can still get some God in my day as well. But the perspective that I'm trying to share with you guys is that I worked today, and I was only supposed to work a single shift. I was scheduled from 10:45, and typically 10:45 on Sunday, you're out by 2. Quick $100 or so, you're out by 2. It's real quick, real simple, real easy money, and you get to see a lot of good high vibrational church people as well. But I had the opportunity to pick up a second shift for today. Now, when you pick up a double, I don't know if any of you guys know anything about serving. I work at Olive Garden, but it's kind of like this for all serving jobs. When you work a double, you're there a lot longer because you have to sit through the slow lull in the middle of the day and then get through the dinner service and then wait till first cut of the dinner service. So instead of getting out at 2, where lunch service is just getting out of the rush, you get out at 6, 7, no funny shit, 6 or 7, sometimes 8. And at 2 o'clock, they gave me my phase card, which meant once I'm wrapped up my tables, I got to go. And I'm going to relate this to the gym, so don't worry. I'm going to get there. I'm going to loop this back around. It might sound like I'm not, but I am. But they handed me my phase card, and I said, hold on a second. I might pick up a double. And if I do, there's no reason to phase me because I'm going to be here for, 5, 6 more hours anyway. They said, okay. And in this moment, I looked on my phone. There was a shift available. I picked it up. And in this moment, I realized something about motivation. And it's that I just signed myself up for 5 to 6 hours of extra work on a day that I usually take to rest, to sit down, to relax, to wind down, to plan my next week. But I just made the decision that I did not have to make. I didn't need the money. I didn't need to stay. They weren't asking me to stay. I made the autonomous decision to do more, to go that extra mile. And that's the same decision that you have to make in the gym. Sometimes on a day where you could still miss your macros and not completely fuck up your cutting or your bulking phase, but you still hit it, those are the days that build the input-based desire, which actually drives you towards your goals. And if I only relied on motivation, I did not feel motivated to work that shift at all. I didn't want to go to work this morning and even work for 3 hours, let alone the 10 hours I ended up working. But the input-based goals, the idea in my mind that I knew if I stayed, I would make extra money that I'd be able to have the whole week. I would completely better my discipline by building my mid-cingulate anterior cortex, which is like a muscle in your brain, if you don't know that basically gives you more strength to do shit you don't want to do. That's a real thing. You can look it up. Building that, and at the same time teaching myself that the inputs are what drives me further. Fuck the extra $200 I'm going to make today. I just want to be here longer and be in my own mind, because that's where I'm at. And the problem with motivation is that it's like a drug, like I said. It's like caffeine. Think about it this way. I use caffeine all the time for my workouts. But imagine instead of my normal 200 dose that kind of just gets me into a nice flow, I used 500 milligrams. And I had the most amazing energetic workout. I'm bouncing off the walls. I'm feeling like a fucking dog. And I have a fucking great pump and it's all going great. Now what about tomorrow? Am I gonna still need that extra crutch, that motivation in this analogy, to do it again? But I don't rely on that. I rely on my brain power and my sheer dedication to improving my inputs and actually getting better at the process. So instead of, fucking relying on motivation and getting hooked and fucking drugged out on motivation like a pussy and only working out when I felt like it, which is never sustainable ever, and it never fucking will be. I make myself hard on the discipline, on the inputs, every day, day in, day out. You know, fucking I do it no matter how I feel. And I never let myself get hooked on motivation, and you are in danger of doing that because the world wants you to be soft. The world wants you to chase motivation and watch supercar videos and watch fucking bodybuilders work out and be, oh, I want to be like that. I want to get girls like that guy. And then work out for 3 days, realize it's harder than you thought, and then give up. That's what the world wants you to do, and it's the opposite of what I want you to do. God bless you if you made it this far. Implement this knowledge. If you don't, it will not be useful to you. I know this was concise, it was short, but if you guys know me, you know that my energy speaks for itself, and that's why I'm getting the viewers I am with the quality that I have, because it's all about my energy. And I don't mean to brag, but you guys know it. God bless you guys. I love you guys. I want you guys to improve along with me. If you want to talk to me more, book a call for my personal training and actually get in the best shape of your life. You can do that below. If not, go watch my free shit that I give away. I give the most free sauce away out of anybody because I truly care. Good luck, God bless, and have a great rest of your day.